Is it too late for you to start planning for the future?
If you're running a business and still dealing with clunky payments or high fees, you need to talk to Louis Edmond with ExplorePay. He helps local businesses simplify payments, get paid faster, and keep more of what they earn. Whether it's in-store, online, or recurring billing, Louis makes it seamless. Reach him directly at 803-722-8823 or louis.edmond@explorepay.com. That's ExplorePay, smarter payments for growing businesses.
When questions keep you up at night, you need answers you can trust. At Bookleitner Investigative Services, LLC, we deliver professional, confidential investigative services for individuals, attorneys, and all types of businesses. From surveillance and background investigations to fraud detection and asset searches, we uncover the facts, ethically, legally, and discreetly. So protect what matters, get clarity, get results. Call us today for a free initial confidential consultation at 803-351-2935.
For the future. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the My Father Said podcast, where we discuss all things faith, finance, and family. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan. I'm both a father and a son.
Hey everybody, I'm Robert. I'm his dad, and I am my father's son.
And you are now a grandfather of 4. Is that right?
That's right. I have 4. I have 3 girls, 1 boy, and they are breaking me slowly but surely. My financial picture is dwindled down because of their Lala and her need to spend. It's a disease.
How old are you?
I'll be 63 very, very soon.
63. And he's getting ready to go to Disney for the first time in like 32 years?
It's a long time.
Something like that. With his grandkids.
Long time.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Breaking down the walls.
Yes, we are. Breaking down the walls.
Well, cool. Well, today we wanted to do a podcast on just, is there a time where it's, it's too late for me to start saving for retirement? You know, we always talk about having a plan. We always talk about starting early and starting consistent. But you might be listening to it and saying, look, I can't start early. I'm in my 50s. I'm in my 60s. I can be consistent, but I'm only going to be working for X amount of time. Where do you fit in this for the financial planning aspect? And so we wanted to do this podcast and talk about some of the behaviors and some of the mindset on, you late bloomers that want to get out there and get started. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. Dad, you want to take the first point?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've started for my retirement yet.
Well, it's not too late.
Yeah, now I'm depressed. No. That's something that we find, in today's world where we're living just trying to pay our bills, trying to keep up with the cost of living, trying to just make ends meet. Saving money seems like a pipe dream for a lot of people, just because the money that you make has got to go everywhere else, and it just doesn't seem that you have enough. And then you got a tax code that is discriminatory against you if you try to work and earn money for a living. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, everything out here vying for your time. And before you realize it, life has been lived. And you wake up one day and you're late 40s, early to mid 50s, 60s, whatever it might be. And you realize, I don't have as much time left in this game called life as I've already spent. Mm-hmm. And when I look at my bank account, when I look at my investment account, they're virtually non-existent.
Right.
Or nowhere near what it is I need to be. So today we're going to just talk about 6 things in particular, that a person who finds themselves late in the game, what they need to focus on to help them get a better feel, a better handle on what they can do going forward for the rest of their days. The first one would be basically is to focus on today. Can't change yesterday.
Yeah.
You can't go back and undo what wasn't done. You can't go back and undo decisions you made at that point in time. that has not benefited you up to today, you just got to recognize that today is my day.
Right.
Today I get to make the decision to move forward. So basically, that sounds simple, but that requires a mental shift. And whenever you say that, you've got to get to the point to where you're going to determine, all right, I'm going in this direction.
Right.
And nothing is going to derail me from the direction that I'm now heading into. Because the moment you start trying to take charge, all of your habits up to today are going to come back into picture because you haven't eliminated those habits yet. So you've got to make the conscious decision that I'm changing. I've got to focus on me. I've got to focus on my future. Everything that has been taken from me, including myself,
Right.
has got to change. That's reworking your budget. That's looking at where my money is going, changing it. You know, I can no longer be spending money on, I don't know, whatever it is people are blowing money on today. $800 pair of tennis shoes, or I don't know, $7,000 watches, whatever it is.
Alcohol and tobacco.
Alcohol and tobacco. Yeah, well, you know, we make our own at the house.
We do.
You know, yeah.
We're in Nieces, in the hollers, right? Y'all didn't know we had hollers in Nieces,
Yeah,
but we
in
do.
Nieces, yeah, we do that. And, you know, somebody told me marijuana was against the law.
I don't think that's true.
It's not. Okay,
I don't think that's
good.
true.
That's
Scott,
good.
what do you think? Is marijuana against the law?
I think it might be.
Scott doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
he-
Stay over there, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, just produce and don't worry about this. Yeah, somebody, you know, I've got that crop growing out in the woods, and somebody was talking about that. That's not good. So I thought about that. So I walked over to the still to sit down and have a drink and think about it. But anyway, I digress. We got to
Yeah,
get back
the,
on
the
this.
pastor in Nieces is out there growing pot.
Well, I got a deacon out there helping me put everything together. So I mean, you know, it's what it is. But anyhow, yeah, you got to rework your budget. You know, that's one of the very first things. You got to take a look at where your money's going, and you got to take charge of it. You've got to happen to your money instead
Yeah.
of letting your money happen to you. So one of the first things you can do starting today, if you haven't already done this, is create a automatic deduction from your pay as it's coming in, going to something, be it your 401k, be it a IRA you establish, be it a brokerage account you establish, be it somewhere where you can put your money to work, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but have it going somewhere where you can get started and start with whatever it is you can carve off.
Yeah.
If it's as little as, I don't know, $50 a month, start with a number, because that $50 a month could be 100% more than what you're currently doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a great place to start. And the amazing thing about it is once you start assigning that money to that spot, you start to find out, you know what, I'm not missing this.
I didn't need that $50.
Yeah, I didn't mean it. So all you did was redirect it from something wasteful, useless, and not permanent,
Yeah.
to something that could benefit you. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things.
You said, oh, and so two things I wanted to talk on. So you were talking about like automating, putting the money away. You know, we love investment accounts. We love retirement accounts here. We love working with clients and them to fund their retirement. For a lot of those accounts, the money has to hit their bank account first before they can go put it away. Not with the 401k, not with the simple IRA. If you start automating that, by the time the money has hit your bank account, you don't have to think about it anymore because it's already been done for you.
That's right.
So if you find yourself, you know, starting late in the game and you are thinking what's the easiest, most pain-free way to do it, cannot stress enough how easy employer plans are. Simple IRA, 401k, what have you. That's the first thing. And then you said something else, or I think you said something, you can't live in the past.
Right.
So I have seen, and I know you've seen it more than I have because you've been in this industry for 30-something years, people will come in and they'll say, man, if only I had gotten started at 18, or if only I had put money in Apple before it was whatever. And it turns into this, man, they get so versed in like what their money could have done over time. And then the conversations always finish with, oh, well, and then nothing changes. And it's like, you know who's not dealing with that? It's the person who just started, right? They just started putting money away, and then, you know, Apple did big, or Bitcoin, or whatever it is. It's so don't get caught up in the what ifs. You know, I wish I would have done this, or what if I would have started at 18, or what if I got into Apple, or what if I had gotten into Amazon. Just put that out of your mind, and then move forward with where you are now, and just get started.
Yeah, instead of saying, oh, well, say, I'm on it.
Yep.
And be ready to go. So that's one of the things that we would tell you to do. The second thing that we would tell you to do is the monies that you have that's coming to you in a paycheck every 2 weeks or every week or however often you get paid, you've got to give every one of your dollars a responsibility, a job. You've got to treat your dollar like it's your employee. Because if it's not your employee, then it's your runaway child. And it's going to go and do whatever it wants to do, and it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
All right, that's why it's called runaway.
Another way to think of that, you know, we've referenced the book The Richest Man in Babylon, I don't know, 1,000 times in this podcast. There's a part in there where he calls, you know, all the gold you have is your slave to work for you.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like you gotta think about that. It's not some passive thing that you've got. You've got to put the money to work. You got to put every dollar to work.
Yeah, your mindset is you are the CEO of your checkbook. And your checkbook is your company. The employees of your checkbook is the dollars that are in there. And each one of these dollars has an assigned responsibility inside your company that they must do for the rest of the company to be able to run efficiently.
Right.
So if you don't assign a certain aspect of your employees, if you don't assign them to go work in the mutual fund, or to go work in the IRA, or go work in the 401k, or go work in the brokerage account, if you don't assign them, they're not going to volunteer to do it.
Nope.
All right? Because all they want to do is do their job and be done, just like most employees out here want to just do their job and be done. Well, you have got to be the CEO of your checkbook. You have got to assign each dollar a responsibility. So, to me, the most important employees in my checkbook are the ones that are going to give me the biggest return on my investment.
Right.
And that is never to the car that I just bought.
Yeah.
That is never to the vacation that I'm saving for. That is never to the light bill. Even though all of those things are important, none of them are going to give me a return on my investment.
That's true.
The ones that will be the ones that I put to work to go out and multiply themselves to make more employees that I did not have to hire.
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah.
So give every dollar a job. That's the second aspect that we would tell you to do and to grow from it. The third one is one of my favorites. These people in your job, I mean your company, you have got to fire. These are the people who cost you money. And we call it treat debt as your enemy. Yes, sir. I've heard people say that debt can be your friend. I don't get it. That's not a world that I live in. That's not a world that I think is even possible. Even though I will have some successful people tell me, hey, I use debt to leverage my way to someplace. And I will say to them, good, I have no debt.
Yeah.
All right? And because I have no debt, I have full ownership of 100% of the employees
Comes
in my
on
checkbook.
a lot of freedom.
Absolutely. So we got to recognize this. Where you are today, if you've got debt, you've got to get rid of debt. That's a non-negotiable. Where you're at today, if you've started late in life, you have to recognize that it's going to be hard for you to have good cash flow in retirement if and when you get to retirement, if your money is obligated to go out instead of hang around.
Yeah.
All right, that's two different things. So debt can drain money that should be working for your future. So
Yeah.
you got to get it gone.
Yeah, and 2 and 3 points 2 and 3 go together hand in hand, giving every dollar a job. So like obviously we were talking about, hey, put the money to work, put it in the mutual fund, put it in the ETF. But then also you've got these debts that you've got to pay down. Don't just pay the minimum, right?
Yeah.
Go after it. Put those dollars to work. If you've got money, if you're starting late in life and you've got money to go on vacation, you've got money to finance a new vehicle, you've got money to, pay for things that aren't necessities, junk food, snacks, tobacco, alcohol, soda, whatever it is, if you've got that, you need to cut that out and then use that towards paying down that debt or putting the money in the mutual fund. You don't really have a job for miscellaneous money, right? Or fun money at that point. You really got to get after it.
Yeah, you look at it like my employees in my checkbook. When they get assigned a task, which one are coming back home to me, which one are leaving to never be seen ever again?
Yeah.
And if it's debt, it's leaving to never ever be seen again. So how do we get out of debt? Well, let's focus on our high interest debts. That's the ones that's costing you the most money.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got a debt out there that's at 18% and then I've got another one at 7%, Ryan mentioned, get aggressive with these things. Go after that debt that is taking the most money away from you.
Yeah.
Treat it like an enemy. Treat it like a disease. Eradicate it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it gone. And then what you have to do with the mindset, if you're going to treat debt as an enemy to your company, your business, then you've got to also take on the mindset that this late in life, I cannot, under any circumstances, I cannot take on new debt.
Exactly. Yeah.
And again, that's a hard habit to break because we're so accustomed to being in debt and paying a monthly obligation. Let's not do that.
So here's something else that comes with this. All right. Somebody is in their late 50s, early 60s, what have you, getting late in the game. We're talking about not getting new debt. When and if parents start to pass away and you inherit money, that does not mean go and finance something new because you've got the assets for it. You have got a blessing that was just given to you. Eradicate the debt that you've got and then put every dollar to work. We've seen that. What's the statistic, Scott? You may even know this, of how much money gets squandered in the the next generation from an inheritance.
The next generation, I think it's, I don't know, I'm probably going to be incorrect with this. I'm just judging it off of my own experience. At least 55-60%.
Yeah.
And by the third generation,
like,
that money is gone.
Yeah, it's like 90 and plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you see that is a consistent thing that we see as people squander some of that inheritance. But he was right.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. That's experience.
Yeah. It's like you've done this for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you get this inheritance, that is not free money. That is just gas to add to the fire for what you're getting after right now.
That's exactly right. So those are three things that we would tell people to do. The fourth one, and to me, this is, and all of these are important, but they all meet their spot. Usually when a person has this feeling that they're too late to the game, they also inevitably start doing the game of comparison. Mm-hmm. And that's a bad game to play, because if you're comparing yourself to someone else who has been planning, you're always going to look bad.
Right. Yeah.
You just can't pretty yourself up enough to get to that point. So what do we do about that? Well, we have to recognize, hey, this is where I am. Today I'm whatever age I'm at, and this is what I've got. This is my picture. This is me. What is a realistic plan I can pursue and make that your plan? Yeah. Retirement does not look the same for everyone. Yeah. You and your neighbor are going to be different. You and your brother are going to be different. You and your coworker are going to be different. No two people are at the same spot. Heck, even married couples at times are not even at the same spot.
Yeah.
So you've got to recognize that your plan has to be based on your goals. And this is the hard one. The reality is if you've swallowed the pill to where you recognize that, you know what, I'm not where I should be, then you might need to start chewing on the next pill, which means I might need to work a little longer than what I was wanting to.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got that you got to do. And then, of course, you got to set your lifetime goals. All of this is involved in your retirement goals. If you want to get there, you got to make adjustments.
Yeah.
If I want to get to some place, I've got to turn my toes from where I'm at toward that direction.
Yeah.
And it's the same with your mindset. It's the same with your wallet, your spending, your savings. You've got to change, and you've got to say yes to that. And saying yes to that means you got to say no to other things.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things that we were talking about with defining your goals and like not comparing your retirement, everyone looks different because they've all got different situations, right? Are you starting late and now you have to work a little bit longer? It's going to look different than the person who's been at the same company for 50 years and they started at 18 and they've got a sizable 401k, and they're going to look different from that person who built a business, sold it in their 50s and retired early. And that's going to look different from somebody who doesn't have parents that are still living, and that's going to look different from somebody who's saving money because they have aging parents and they're taking care of them. So everybody is going to look different. Everybody's retirement goal is going to look different. The monthly cost it takes to survive is going to look different. The cost to keep the lights on, the cost to provide health care, that's going to look vastly different from person to person, and that overall is going to look very different for like that magic number I need for retirement.
Yeah. So take ownership. Remember, it's your company. You have to be the person who gives the definition of what your goal is going to be and what you got to do to get there. So if you're the CEO of that, you have to define, you've got to cast your vision upon your checkbook,
Yeah.
and you've got to have your employees in that checkbook in alignment with it. Because if they don't know, because you haven't made that decision for them, they're going to flee. They're going to fly out.
You know, I feel like there's a Bible verse about that. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's crazy how that works.
Yeah, that was
all financial principles come from biblical wisdom.
There you go. There you go. All right, the next one, number 5 of the 6 that we've got.
This is probably the funnest of the 6.
Yeah, number 5 of the 6 is turning your skills into income.
What are you good at?
Yeah, what are you good at? Now, that's one where people will sit there and scratch their head,
I
but
know what I'm good at.
it is amazing. Well, it's not so much that, it's I know what I like, but how do I get paid doing this? All right? I mean, you know, because see, not everybody is born with an entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
Everybody is born with the ability, but not everybody is born with the entrepreneurial spirit. So it's something they have to nurture. And of course, that involves surrounding yourself with the right people that could help you nurture that and take advantage of it. The last thing I would do is go hang out with 5 W-2 people and ask them, hey, how do I run a business for myself?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. All right. I mean, nothing wrong with W-2 people. Sure. Nothing wrong with them at all, but they just don't know.
Yeah.
All right. And it would be hard for me to hang out with 5 self-employed people. You're welcome. You're welcome. It would be hard for me to hang out with 5 self-employed people and have them explain to me how to be a good W-2 person.
Right. Yeah.
All right. It's just, you know, it doesn't work that way. So you got to kind of, you know, adjust your circle and go from there. But, you know, the experience you have and the talents you have can open all kind of doors, you know, because I've thought about this. I've got I was noticing today on Facebook, a gentleman I went to high school with ran a oil change shop in Orangeburg. And, you know, he did pretty good. He did pretty good. He recently sold his business and he retired not too long ago. Well, I seen today on Facebook where retirement just bored him to death. So he went out and bought some earth moving equipment, and now he's driving something with this big claw on the front of it.
Nice.
And he's clearing out dams and ponds and stuff like that. He says, hey, I'm back in the work world. He is playing.
Yeah.
What he is doing. All right. You know, I know him. His name is Mark. Mark is playing. All right. Mark is having fun. And the thing about it is he's retired, but he's having fun and he's getting paid for it again.
Absolutely.
But these people here that we're talking to today aren't retired. They're worried about getting there. So how do you get there? Well, you know, you might have to eat some humble pie, but I don't know. You might drive for Uber, or Lyft, or DoorDash.
Yep.
Or deliver for Pizza Hut. Is Pizza Hut still around?
Yeah.
Okay. But you might still be. You might have to take on some sort of job like that. I'm sitting there thinking, gosh, what would I do when I retire? Well, I know one thing I absolutely love is I love being out in nature. I love flowers, and I love landscaping. I'm thinking, I wonder maybe perhaps I can, do some landscaping on the side to get paid. What if you're a decent mechanic, and when you get home from work, you might go out in the yard at night, and you might be the mechanic that people bring vehicles to.
Yep.
But you're working at night. You're taking yourself away from the house. Obviously, there's going to be a cost to this involved, and
Sure.
it's going to be free time's going to be taken away. But you have to recognize that if you have used up a lot of your free time on the way here, well, then you're going to have to pay the piper somehow or another. So, you got to do that. You got to make some decisions. Do something that creates an income stream. Is it writing? Is it doing articles for newspapers? Do they still have newspapers?
I don't think so.
Internet?
I don't think newspapers exist.
Yeah, maybe a blog, maybe something that subscribes. Whatever it is today, where people can create something that allows them to use something they really enjoy doing. Just start working from that.
So, and here's a couple of other options. So, when I was at Charleston Southern, there was an athletic trainer at the university, and in his spare time, and he did two things with this. In his spare time, he would cut hair, and he ended up cutting hair for a ton of the athletes there, and then just people who ran in those circles, because he was an athletic trainer who was always with the teams. He would start cutting hair. He charged us, he was making a little bit of money. I think he was undercutting, like Great Clips or Sport Clips or whatever. He would undercut them. He would make money, and then he would share the gospel with some of these guys while he was cutting their hair. And so it's not everybody can cut hair. He learned how to do a couple of haircuts. A lot of the athletes liked it, so he would bring in money that way. Another thing is if you're musically talented, right? If you can play music and you know how to explain that to somebody, now all of a sudden you got music lessons.
Yeah, you teach,
you can teach that.
Join a band.
Join a band. Go pay cover gigs, right?
Yeah.
So you could do that. I had another one. I don't remember where it went. Oh well. It'll come back to me later. But you've got options. If you've got interests, if you've got hobbies, it'll take some thought, but you can absolutely. I remember what it was. We know a guy who he's got his full-time job, and he also is really good at welding. So he will weld sculptures together and sell them. You go down to the flea market or the farmer's market or whatever. So you just learn how to do something, and you can find a way to supplement your income.
Exactly. I mean, remember what I said earlier. If people do not assign their employees in their checkbook a responsibility, they're going to run away. And in America, we stink overall with assigning our dollars responsibility. So why not be one of the smart people to take advantage of that situation? Use your skill, your gift, your talent, whatever it might be that you think there's no way I'm going to make money out of this, and go put it together and watch and see. People will buy these things.
Yeah.
They will buy it. You're too young to remember this, but there was something that came about when I was in my early teens, and it made somebody mega rich. And it was called, are you ready for this? Pet Rock. Pet Rock. The rock that you see out here that you kick with your foot actually ended up in a package, was being sold in stores. And these idiots in this country spent their money on something they could walk outside, go to a railroad track, and get as many as they wanted for free. So, yes, for the person who says, I don't have any skill.
Yeah, they made $6 million in 1975. For inflation, that's $30 million today.
Yeah, $30 million was made on selling pet rock. A pet rock.
Holy cow.
I'm thinking, why not let's go out and get used pencils. and let's sell them at a discount. All right? I mean, you know, for one that's got 2 inches left, you spend a quarter. For one that's got 6 inches left, you spend 50 cents.
Yeah.
All right? Instead of buying it, how much does a new pencil cost? I don't even know. See,
Yeah.
that just tells you I don't
That's,
know.
you know, the technology's come so far. People don't even use pencils anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, it's incredible in this country the things you can do, to yeah. Let me hold that, Scott. Let me hold that picture you just did. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, but is there a way that you can zoom in on it with your camera so somebody can see if you can make 30 million off of this? Yeah, if you can make
That's
30
great.
million, I don't know if your camera can do this, but if you can make $30 million off of this right here, this is real. This is not made up. This is not fabricated. This is not some joke that Robert is trying to get on the what are you, Generation Z or X or whatever y'all are. This is not some joke. This is legit. That people went out and spent their hard-earned money on a blamed rock.
All right, so here's a question. Did all of the rocks look the same?
Well, I don't know. I never bought one.
Dad, come on.
Yeah, I didn't buy a
It
rock.
was different kinds of rocks.
Yeah, I didn't buy no rock. Me and my neighbors would throw rocks at each other. We didn't know we were throwing a $30 million fortune at each
Yep,
other.
that's
I mean, it was
dude, that's crazy.
ridiculous.
Dude, that was like black
It is-
one,
it's
white
ab-
one,
I mean,
gray
it's-
one.
it's-
That's
I have no
crazy.
idea
Yeah.
how we got on pit rock.
It's
I mean, it's
Money
just-
doesn't grow
I
on
have no
trees, but
idea
you can
how
just
we got on
find it
pit
in the
rock.
ground.
Yeah.
Money doesn't
You can
grow
throw
on
it at
trees,
each
but you
other in the
just find it
form
in the
of
ground.
rocks. Yeah,
Exactly.
You can throw it at each
Exactly.
other in the form of rocks.
All right.
Exactly.
So that's
exactly.
five. The last
All
one
right.
we'll talk about today
So that's
is
five.
protecting
The last
what
one we'll
you
talk
build.
about today
That is always
protecting
important
what
when it comes
you
to money.
build. That
Accumulating
is always
is one
important
thing,
when it comes to
keeping
money.
is a whole
Accumulating is
different
one thing.
ballgame.
Keeping
You
is
gotta
a
be-
whole different.
You got to make
ballgame.
wise choices.
You
on
got to
that.
be.
Eventually,
you got to make wise
you're
choices
going to have
on
to
that.
take care of things
eventually,
like my own
you're
health.
going to have
I
to
am
take
learning
care of things
that
like
as I
my
get
own
older,
health. I am learning
becoming
that
my,
as I
my
get
parents.
older,
I always said
I am becoming
that
my
I did
my
not
parents.
want to
I
have
always
a pharmacy
said that
in
I
my
did
house
not want
on
to
the
have a
counter,
pharmacy
like Mom and Dad did.
in my house.
Well,
on
I'm
the
looking
counter,
today,
like Mom
and
and Dad
dang
did.
if I'm not developing
Well,
the
I'm
Templeton
looking today,
pharmacy
and dang
at
if
the
I'm not
house.
developing the
And
Templeton
it's something to look
pharmacy
forward to. It is something
at
to
the
look
house.
forward to.
And
So
it's
you got to
something
take
look
care of
forward
your
to. It
health.
is something to look
Because
forward
if
to.
you don't take
So
care of your
you got
health,
to take care of your health.
then your health is
because
going
if
to
you don't
cost
take care of
you
your health,
a lot of your money
then your health
that
is
you
going to
just
cost
do not
you
know
a lot
how
of your
to
money
assign
that you
to
just
dollars
do
in your
not
checkbook.
know how to assign
Because you just
to the
don't know.
dollars
Your
in
body is
checkbook.
like an engine in an
Because
automobile.
you just don't
It
know. Your
is
body
going
is
to
like an
eventually
engine in an
wear
automobile.
down,
It is
wear
going
out,
to
and
eventually
along the way,
wear down.
there's going to be pieces in
wear
there that's
out,
going to
and
break.
along
that you just
the way,
can't really
there's going to be pieces in there that's going to
repair.
break that you just
You can
can't
just
really
do maintenance on it.
repair.
And
you can
you're
just
going to keep doing
do
what you're doing.
maintenance
So
on it.
you've got
And
that you
they're
got to
just
look
gonna
at. So
keep
you want to
doing
make
what
sure
you're
you're
doing. So
maintaining proper
you've got
health
that that you
care
got to look at. So you want to make sure you're maintaining
long-term
proper
care.
health care
I
and
look forward to that. Yeah,
so
long-term
if you're
care.
if
Yeah,
this
you wanna
episode
look
is
forward
geared
to that.
towards people
Yeah, so
getting
if
started
you're-
late
if
in
this
life,
episode is
you know,
geared towards people
one of the
getting
things that
started
you
late
should
in life,
absolutely be
you know,
thinking about
one of the things
is
that you should
long-term care
absolutely be thinking
and
about
making sure you
is
get
long-term
Medicare.
care.
Yeah.
So Medicare
making
is
sure you
super
get
confusing and shameless
Yeah, so
plug.
Medicare is
If you've ever got
super
questions about
confusing
that,
and
Jordan
shameless
Lane, who we
plug.
just did a
If
podcast
you've ever
with,
got questions about that,
he
Jordan Lane,
is
who we
here.
just
He's our
did a
insurance
podcast
specialist.
with,
He can answer any questions
he
for you.
is here. He's
But
our insurance specialist. He can
there
answer any
are
questions
different
for you.
carriers.
But
There are different types of plans. There are different
different
supplements.
carriers,
And
there are
if you
different types of
don't
plans, there's
know
different
what
supplements,
that
and if
is, you don't know
don't
what you need,
know what
that can come back to
that
bite you.
is, you
Right?
don't know
So,
what
so
you
if you're
need,
approaching that
that can
age, you
come
need to
back to
think
bite
about
you.
that.
Right?
Long-term
So if you're
care.
approaching that age, you need to think
For
about
men,
that.
this
Long-term
is.
care,
I don't know.
for
I don't know
men,
if better is the
this
right word,
is-
but
I
normally
don't know- I
men
don't
die
know if
before they
better's
use
the right
long-term
word,
care.
but normally
Women
men die before they
tend
use
to live
long-term care.
longer, and because of that,
Women
they tend to
to
use
live
long-term
longer,
care more.
and because of
So
that, they tend
that's
to
something you
use
need to think
long-term
about,
care more.
especially
So,
the older
that's
you
something you
get.
need to think about.
Things are going to wear out,
Especially
like you
the
said.
older you
So
get.
Medicare,
Things are going to wear out,
long-term
like you
care,
said.
those
So
insurances
Medicare,
are
long-term care, those
absolutely
insurances
vital for the
are
success of your plan.
absolutely
That's exactly right.
vital
Yeah, a lot
for
of
the
people
success
here
of the
don't
plan.
recognize or
That's
don't
exactly
notice
right.
from looking.
Yeah, a lot of
the
people
ones who
here
actually
don't
see the
recognize
visual,
or don't notice
but
from
here in
looking.
the next
The ones who are actually seeing the
3 to 4
visual,
weeks,
but here in the
you
next
see me and my arm's going to be in
3
a
to
sling
4
'cause
weeks,
I'm having to have
when you
rotator
see me
cuff
and my
surgery.
arm's going to be in a
things-
sling because I'm having to
things
have
start
rotator
falling
Why
cuff
are you having
surgery. So,
rotator cuff
things-
surgery, Dad?
Things start
getting
falling
old.
Why are
apart.
you
No,
having
no,
rotator
Dad.
cuff
That's
surgery?
not why you're having rotator cuff
We're not
surgery.
going to discuss
Dad,
that.
that's not why you're
but I'm
having
getting
rotator
old.
cuff
But
We're
anyway,
not going to discuss that.
another thing that you want
but
to
I'm getting
do,
old. But anyway,
protecting what you build.
another
is
thing that you want to do,
you gotta have
protecting
cash
what you
reserves
built
set
is
aside,
you
and
know
that's
you
their
got to
job
have
is to
cash
be
reserves
ready
set
and
aside,
available
and that's
in
their
a pinch.
job is to be
Right?
ready
So you
and
gotta have
available
that.
in a
You
pinch.
can't go into
All right?
retirement
So
with
you got to
everything
have
in
that.
investments,
You can't
because
go
in
into
order to
retirement
get
with
it, you gotta
everything
sell
in investments,
which might
because in
create
order
an
to
undue
get it, you
tax
got to
burden
sell
that you don't
investments,
really wanna
which
have to
might
deal with.
create an undue
So you wanna
tax
have
burden that you didn't really want to have to
money
deal
for
with. So you want to
things that
have
happen in a pinch.
money
And then the
for
last one that I would
things
say
that
you
happen
wanna
in a
have
pinch.
inside
And then the
this
last one that I would
particular
say
item
that you want to have
is
in
your
inside
investment
this
strategy.
particular item
You always will
is
review.
your investment
Yeah.
strategy.
Because just as
You always want to
things
review
happen, you get
because just
older,
as things
your
happen,
net
you
worth
get
may be going
older.
up, maybe going down.
Your net worth
market
may be going
conditions
up,
are
maybe going
changing. It might
down.
be shifting from one
Market
direction to
conditions
another.
are changing. It might
Going
be
from a
shifting from one
recession
direction to
a
another.
recovery,
Going from a
or
recession to a
somewhere in that area,
recovery,
something's happening in the
or
world.
or
You need
somewhere in
to
that
look at
area,
your
something's happening in the
investment
world. You
allocations
need to look at
just so
your
you can make
investment allocations
best effort to be
just so you
positioned
can make
in a way
best effort
that
to
when
be
the market does
positioned
shift,
in a way
insulate
that when the
yourself
market does
as well as you
shift,
can,
you have insulated
considering what's going
yourself
on in the
as
world.
well as you can,
You've insulated yourself
considering
in a
what's
manner
going
to
on in the
protect
world.
yourself from
You've insulated
just
yourself in a
being
manner to protect
Yeah, and
yourself
that's a good thing to
just being
point out, because
naive.
that's not a
Yeah, and
if
that's a good thing to point out,
if
'cause
the
that's
market
not
changes
a
from this
if
cycle to that. It's
when-
when
you know,
it's
if the
going to
market
change to
changes
that.
from
because
this
it
cycle
always
to that,
moves through the
it's
cycle.
when
And here's another one that we didn't
it
bring
always
up.
moves through the cycle.
It's
And,
it's
here's
in the
another one that
financial
we didn't
planning
bring up.
process, but we can't
It's-
do it
it's in
here,
the
so it
financial
doesn't
planning
really.
process, but we
didn't
can't
put it
do
on
it
here.
so it
But
doesn't really.
as you get
we
older
didn't put it on here,
and you start
but
to
as you
accumulate
get
wealth,
older
an
and you
umbrella
start to
policy on your
accumulate
home and
wealth,
auto,
an
very
umbrella
cheap,
policy
very
on your
very
home and
crucial.
auto, very cheap,
There's
very,
horror
very
stories
crucial.
where you
You
build
know,
up
there's
these
horror
assets,
stories
something
where
happens,
you
something
build up these
God forbid
assets,
somebody dies in a car
something
crash
happens,
and you're on the
something,
hook
you
to
know,
pay
God
for all
forbid
of this
somebody
stuff, and
dies in
your
a car
coverage
crash and you're on
won't
the
cover
hook
it.
to pay for all
That's
this
when
stuff,
those
and your
umbrella
coverage
policies step in
won't
to help
cover it.
you
That's when
avoid
those umbrella policies step in
working
to help
all your
you
life,
avoid,
building up a nest egg, and then half of it
working
going
all
away
your life, building
because
up
of
a
an
nest egg,
accident,
and then
something
half
like that.
of it
So
going
those
away,
are important too.
because of an accident, something like that. So those are
That's
important
exactly
too.
So as we wrap this up
That's
today,
exactly right. So as we wrap this up
just
today,
to come back to the very first part, you got to decide.
just to
You-
come
you
back
woke
to the
up
very
today
first
or
part.
it's
You got to
been on your
decide.
mind lately
You know, if you woke
that
up today or it's been on your mind
It's too
lately,
late for me.
that
I've let life go by.
it's too late for me.
You're probably not
I've let
going to
life
have the
go by.
retirement that you dreamed
You're
of,
probably not
or
going
that
to
you
have the
envisioned
retirement that
as
you
a youngster
dreamed
just
of,
because you're right.
or that
A
you
lot of life has
envisioned
passed
as a
by,
youngster just
and
because you're
decisions
right.
you've
A
made
lot of
are
life has
following
passed
you.
by.
However,
and decisions you've made
that
were
was
following
that
you.
is today.
However,
that was
that
yesterday.
is today.
It does not have
that
to be
was
the
yesterday.
same tomorrow.
It does not
So
have to
you
be
have to
the
make
same
decisions that I
tomorrow.
want to change this.
So
we can
you have
help
to make decisions
but we
that
can't
I want to
do it
change this.
for
We
you
can help
without you
but we
being
can't do it
bought in.
for you
So
without
what's
you being
involved with that,
bought in.
Ryan? If you want to tell them how we
So
can help.
what's involved with that, Ryan? If you want to
Yeah,
tell them
so
how we
if
can
you
help,
liked any
Yep.
of what we talked
no.
about, you
Yeah,
find
so
yourself in
if
the
you like
situation
any
getting
of what
started
we
a
talked
little bit
about,
late,
you find
come
yourself
see
in
us
the
here.
situation
We
getting
work
started
with
a little bit
clients,
late, come see us here. We work with
early in
clients,
life, and we work with
you know,
clients very late in life.
early
And so,
in life, and we
you know,
work with
where
clients
you are,
very
you're
late
not
in life.
stuck.
And
And so if you
you know, where
want
you
to,
are, you're not
you know,
stuck.
see how we do
And
it
so
here, you
if
want to
you
get started
want
on that
to,
journey,
you know,
come
see
reach
how
out
we
to
do
us,
it
come
here,
see
you wanna
us.
get
We would
started
love
on
the
that journey,
opportunity opportunity to do
come
that.
reach out to us. Come see us.
If
We
you
would love
enjoyed
the
some of the
opportunity
topics
to
we
do
talked
that.
about,
If you enjoyed
free
some
to
of the
check out
topics
our
we
book,
talked about,
Financial Harmony, Personal Fulfillment.
feel free to check out our book, Financial
They
Harmony,
can hear
Personal
it.
Fulfillment.
They can
You probably need to do this where they can hear it.
They can hear
If you want to, check that out, it's on Amazon. If you check it out, you like
check
it,
that
you
out.
love it.
It's on
please leave us a
Amazon.
review.
If you check it out, you like
but,
it, you love
yeah,
it. Please
that
leave us a
is
review.
all we have for today.
yeah,
Just wanted to give some
that
pointers
is
if
all we
you're
have
starting
for
late in
today.
life to
just wanted to give some
be a
pointers
financial
if
planner.
you're starting late
So
in
with
life
that,
to,
I'm Ryan.
your financial planner.
We'll see you guys next
so
time.
With that,
The opinions voiced in this video are for general information only and are not specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. Securities offered through LPL Financial, number FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Good Life Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The Tippleton Group and Good Life Advisors, LLC, are separate entities from LPL Financial. Biblically responsible investing and faith-driven investing have certain risks based on the fact that the criteria excludes securities of certain issuers for non-financial reasons, and therefore investors may forgo some market opportunities and the universe of investments available will be smaller.